Summer is here, and sports are finally back, which can only mean one thing. It's time to kick back, relax, and make some cash. Everyone has to start somewhere, which is why you want to get off on the right foot by choosing an established book like mybookie.ag. And with all the major sports seasons just around the corner, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. Dynamic betting lines and a simple-to-use platform make the process easier than it's ever been. Create your account in just a few easy steps, deposit, and begin placing your bets. Sign up now using promo code Coach Talk to get your deposit matched halfway, all the way up to $1,000, plus $25 extra free play. That's promo code Coach Talk. Use it to score yourself an extra piece of the pie. With MyBookie, you bet, you win, and most importantly, when you win, you get paid.
Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Friday, July 24th, and I am here with my partner in crime, Mr. Andrew Hansen. And this is our big salute and wave goodbye 2 shows today and tomorrow of the KBO, who we know and love, who was there for us when nothing else was there, and we've been super successful. So we're not bailing ship immediately. We're doing these final 2 shows in honor of our South Korean friends in the KBO.
That's right, Coach. I mean, you said it. We got to do it. 2 more days here. The send-off over the weekend. It's been terrific. We've had a lot of fun with it, a lot of success. It's going to be strange to transition out of it, but the contests are shrinking and Major League Baseball is picking up. And we, of course, have the NBA next week. So lots to do here in the U.S., but it has been terrific. And what a way to celebrate. Not only that, but you got some big news on the personal front today as well.
Yeah, thank God, man. About half an hour ago, I got the call that my test was negative. So I've officially beaten the coronavirus here and hopefully have the antibodies built up so that I can't even, get it again. So if that's the case, I'm pretty happy. So I appreciate, again, all the prayers and all the well wishes out there. I know there was a couple of days last week when it probably wasn't very pleasant to listen to me on the podcast because I was hacking and gravelly, but we got through it, man. So
well, we were just worried about you. So this is just terrific news.
I'm excited.
So psyched.
I really am. Yeah, well, thank you. All right, well, we've got a 5-game slate in KBO, and guess what? There's a chance of rain.
Whoa! I mean, what would it be without that? It's
just automatic.
All sun. We got to have some rain.
But we're looking, in looking at it, we did a pretty good weather dive. If anything, KBO has gotten Andrew and I to be pretty darn adept to the weather and the radar and all that stuff. We have been all over it, but we are convinced that we can pretty much say 100% that 3 of the games are going to play,
right?
Or as close to it as you can. There's 2 games that are questionable, probably 50-50 or better. So, again, that's our edge. We'll be up in Discord late night as usual and try to take down whatever tournaments or whatever's left the next couple of nights because there's been certainly a mass exodus of the action in KBO that's moved to MLB as we anticipated. But again, we refuse to pull the plug on them because they have been good to us and we want to support 2 more shows. I guarantee you we're the only KBO shows left out there, probably on the planet. So, so maybe if somebody's searching KBO out of nowhere here, and they're going to see us these last 2 shows, but we're excited about it. We like the slate. We like the possibilities there. And, I'm never afraid of middle of the night or weather because, again, I think we lose a third of the competition just to those 2 things and are able to take some stuff down. So before we get started, though, real quickly, we really want to thank our sponsors for this podcast. It's mybookie.ag. That's the place to go for all your sports wagering and casino action. Go to mybookie.ag and sign up. Use the promo code Coach Talk, no space, all one word, and you get up to 50% all the way up to $1,000 on your first deposit, and a $25 free play just for using the promo code Coach Talk. And our buddies at tvg.com, Saratoga's running again, so that's Saratoga and Keeneland are my favorite two meets of the year. So if you're into horse racing, catch them at tvg.com, and you can sign up for them through our website, dfscoachtalk.com. Click on the big banner that says TVG risk-free bet, and they are still offering this $300 risk-free play. So you can get in there, become a member at TVG, use the promo code Coach Talk, and put a bet on somebody for $300. If it loses, you get the whole $300 back. So we love those guys. We really appreciate both of them. We are ready to jump into this. No further ado. We are going to get into this card. First game on the board, LG Twins, 35-30-1 against the Doosan Bears, 39-27. This is not one of the rain games, so this game will play. For the Twins, Casey Kelly back on the mound, 4-4 with a 4.38. And for the Bears, it's Woon Jun Cha, 3-0 with a 4.15. And our good friends, speaking of mybookie.ag, they have this game as, I'm going to refresh. I always do this because I want the latest odds for our listeners. There it is. Okay, we've got the Doosan Bears and the LG Twins. Would you believe that it is a dead even, minus 114? We haven't seen that all season. It's a dead even game, and the over-under is 10.5, which is the biggest of all 5 games. So a lot of runs supposedly in this game, and Vegas has it dead even. So give us the skinny. You're the Doosan whisperer, so yeah. What do you got?
Well, if it's dead even and Doosan's involved, I'm taking Doosan, no doubt about it. And I'm gonna look at some of these hitters. Casey Kelly has been better lately. 4 straight quality starts.
Yeah,
he's been decent against Doosan this year. 7 innings, 3 earned runs. 6 innings, 3 earned runs. But on this slate, given that this might be only one of 3 games, I'm going to use some of these lefties. Lefties are hitting 290 against Kelly.
Yeah.
Ju Hwan Cha, one of my favorite players all season because he was so underpriced. He's gone 1 for 3 and 2 for 3 against Kelly this year. So 3 for 6. His price is back down to 3,500.
Good.
So I like that value. J-Il-O seems a little bit cheap at 4,000. And then K-Her just keeps on hitting. Long hit streak. He's at 4,300. Righties are hitting 281 against Kelly with 5 homers. So you can go there as well. Yep. Now on the flip side, this one I'm curious about your thoughts because I know you've enjoyed playing LG lately, the hitters. I like playing the LG lefties against righties. But I think this might be my fade spot here to try to get a little bit different is to fade these LG lefty bats and not necessarily use the Doosan pitcher. If I play multiple lineups, maybe I'll get him in there once. But this is a guy who is a reliever, but in his 2 starts, 5 innings, no earned runs against Hanwha. And then last time out against Kia, they've got some very good left-handed bats, 5 innings, no earned runs. That was on July 18th. So he's been very strong as a starter. So that's what I'm going to do. I was basically just going to avoid that matchup and hope that H. Kim doesn't keep crushing it at 4,800 after his big night last time out.
Yeah, this is odd for me because I had noticed it was the largest run total on the board by a full run, and I'm not completely convinced this game is going to be full of runs. I actually, if I'm betting this game and it being a 10.5 number, I think I'm going under in this game because I respect Cha from Doosan. He's, like you said, stepped up. Kelly has certainly put it together the second half of the season with consecutive good starts in a row. So I'm even though this is not one of the two rain games and that this is the highest total, I'm not stacking this game on either side. I'm going to go 1 or 2 man at the very, very most from each side and have less exposure to this game than probably most people. And I think that's the one contrarian thing that will stand out for me on this card is I'm not going to have this game stacked like most people. But I do like the guys I would pull out that I do like. I do like J-L-O, the third number 3 hitter for Doosan. He is in a groove, and I can see him even a double dong kind of night. So Juan Kim also has hit the ball well. Fernandez, of course, you could always go with, just got big expense issues. And like you say, Jay Cha batting 5th, his price is favorable. So I like that middle 2, 3, 4, 5, but I would only pick 1 or 2 of those guys out of there as one-offs depending on my build. On the LG side, I really don't like the LG side very much here. I think Ramos will be highly owned and, a couple of guys along the way, but I'm more so just looking at either Ji-Hwan Oh, the number 2 hitter, as a shortstop, or Hyun-Soo Kim as an outfielder, the 2-3 hitters. One or the other, I think, has a chance to make my lineup, also depending on the build. But those are the only guys I'm really honing in on here, and just expect that most people are going to have half their hitting lineup are surrounded by this team. So any other words there?
No, I'm excited about it. I'm curious what you're going to say about game 2. You're probably going to have some bats there, so let's jump into that one.
I am. It's the NC Dinos, 44-19-2 against the KT Wiz, 32-33-1. Taking the mound for the Dinos is Mike Wright, 6-2 with a 3.85. And for the Wiz, it's Mr. Despagne, 6-5 with a 4.64. And my bookie has this game. NC, road favorite, only 136, so another close spread here, and 9.5 is the over-under. So very competitive slate tonight in KBO. There's some other close lines as well. So what do you think about this game?
Yeah, this one is tough. A lot will depend for me on if we have 4 or 5 games or just 3. If we have 4 or 5 games, then I'm probably not going to touch this one much, because both these pitchers have faced the other team here 3 times already. Yeah. So batters are very familiar with these pitchers. It makes it a lot tougher to trust these pitchers, even though they're both solid strikeout guys, especially Despagne. And I like how he eats up innings. He's over 90 innings, and he's over 70 strikeouts.
Yeah.
The Dinos hit him around pretty good last time they faced him, though. 8 earned runs. He didn't make it through the 5th.
That's possibly his worst outing of the year right there, if I'm not mistaken.
It was only 1 home run. It wasn't like a bunch of extra base hits. So, again, if we only have 3 games, I may look at Despagne. If I am going to use a Dinos bat, it might be Jay Kong. He went 2 for 2 with a homer and a walk against Despagne last time out. He's still at only 4,000. Yeah. And it looks like he may be back up in the order a little bit, somewhere near the 6 hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing. I'd like to avoid the Mike Wright versus KT Wiz matchup. But if I am going to get involved in that, I'm probably going to look at 1 or 2 of the lefty bats for the Wiz. Rojas at 6,300. He went 3 for 3 against Wright the last time they played, 2 singles and a double. Yep. And then Yang Ho Joe, leadoff hitter, 2,800. I like that price as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I have an interesting take here that it seems a little off, out of nowhere, and it's an odd build for me, but I am going to stack the 4, 5, 6 hitters from KTW. Okay. And let me explain why.
Please do.
I think Mike Wright is just pitching okay. You know, he's been not striking out as many people, maybe a little bit of a tired arm. I don't know. I don't see him as crisp as he had been. And there's no way in hell I think he's going to pitch to Rojas. I think he's going to nibble the corners, pitch around him, walk him. And Huang in the 2-hole as well can be very patient at times. So I see guys getting on base in front of them. And for the price, as far as Kang, Yo, and Jang, I can fill a catcher spot. And I'm sorry. It went dead for me for a minute. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. I don't know. That was odd. Anyway, I can fill a catcher spot, and, I can get a stack there with a very affordable players in Kang and Yu, and they both can hit. So it's a little bit of an odd stack, but I like KTW to score some runs here, and I think it's the meat of that 4, 5, 6 group that's going to be have the ducks on the pond the most opportunity. So again, a little contrarian, but I really like it. And what that will do is allow me to spend up on some bats in some other scenarios that are coming up. And also, this not being one of the rain games either, I can feel solidified that I have the middle of that order in place. What it does do is allow me to use that money that I just saved 15 seconds ago and play the 3-4 guys for the Dinos.
Wow.
Big fat dose. Sung Bum Na and Aaron Altier, I think, will bat 3-4 against Despaigne. And I just see these guys just in a sweet spot. Despaigne throws hard, but those two guys have seen a lot harder. Sung Bum Na is one of the most talented guys in the league, and Altier played in the majors for quite some time. So, the 80 or 91 or 92 Despaigne dials up isn't anything that's going to blow those guys away by any stretch. So, again, a lot of innings. He is a grinder, but he does throw a flat ball on occasion that can allow a home run or two. So this is going to be my key game of the night. It's my big stack game. I'm giving away 5 hitters right off the bat. Kaplunky right there. I'm going Kang, Yo, Jang on the KTW side, and Na and Altier on the Dino. So this is the game I'm looking for, the 12, 14 total runs, and these two guys to get dinged around a little bit. They'll get some ownership. I mean, there's decent pitchers all around here, but again, some may rain out. But I like having the bats against. So do you think I'm too contrarian with that play, or is that something that can give me an edge that can make a difference? What do you think?
Well, what I like about it is how you've visualized the game script with the KT Wiz. And if those early bats get on base and Wright does pitch around them a little bit, and then you're set up for 4, 5, and 6 to clean up the bases, if that plays out, you're going to be in a prime spot. So I really like how you've set yourself up for success there. And again, stacking both of these teams, even if it's a mini stack, I think that will be unique.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, generally when I have 2 big buy-up guys, they're not batting next to each other in the order. But I feel good about those 2 for sure. And I think it can correlate well on the other side with some runs from the middle of that lineup. So we'll see. Like I say, I'm not going to have a lot of people playing that same lineup. So it's one of those maybe boom or bust kind of things, but I like the way it looks right now. All right, let's go to game 3. We have this is one of the rain possibilities. About 40% chance on both of them at last calling. It is the Samsung Lions at 34 and 32 against the Kia Tigers 35 and 29. We've got Ben Lively 1 and 3 with a 4.97, and my man Aaron Brooks 5 and 3 with a 2.49. The MyBookie.ag updated lines have the Kia Tigers minus 169 and the over-under all the way down to 8.5. So this is the largest favorite on the board, and it's Mr. Brooks. So all I'm going to say is I did fade Mr. Brooks last time because you and Freddie peer pressured me into fading him, and it worked out because the guys you had me play him over did better, but he still did good, but it was a good fade, but I can't do it twice in a row. So Brooks is in.
Yeah, that was one of our $5,000 nights.
I know.
So
I know.
And that's the thing. You talk about fading a stud like that. It doesn't mean you're saying he's going to have a bad game. It's just, if you can find the two cheaper pitchers who are also going to have a good game and then pay up for an extra hitter or two, that's all you're looking for. And that's what it was that night. So,
well, the way to make $1 million in this DFS world is knowing when to eat the chalk and knowing when to fade the chalk. I mean, if you can do that consistently, you're in good shape.
No doubt about it. So I'm with you here. I will get Brooks back out there if this game plays. I love the strikeouts. I love that he's only given up 3 home runs in 83 innings.
Yeah.
And he goes deep into games. Last one out against Doosan, 8 innings, 2 earned runs. So this is a workhorse. But here's one thing. Here's one aspect of this matchup that I am a little concerned about. Lefties hit 299 against him. And we've got Jaewoo Koo, who's terrific, 4,300. And then listen to these 3 lefties for Samsung. If they play, did you know that Seong-Gon Lee, the $2,600 outfielder, is batting .333 with 4 homers and 12 RBI? Hai-Min Park, who we've had success with, 2,700. He's batting .297 with 5 homers and 22 RBI. And then Sung-Gyu Lee, second base, third base, 3,000. He's only batting .230, but he has 7 homers and 24 RBI. So if you want to get really contrarian, you could pick out a couple of those lefty bats. But, again, Brooks goes deep into the game. So you got to figure it's going to be at least 3 at-bats against him. But I do just think that those lefties they're underpriced. And so you could build a very cheap stack or mini stack with a couple of them if you don't want to go with the chalk of Mr. Brooks.
How about the hitters for Kia? Any interest there?
Not much. I like the matchups a little bit better in some of these other games. Small sample size with Lively. He's only pitched 18 innings. Lefties have hit .333 against him so far. So my number one choice would be H. Cha at 4,900. He's been a little bit better lately than Tucker. And Tucker, of course, is much more expensive at 6,000.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I'm going to fade the Samsung hitters because I'm definitely rolling Brooks out there. I do agree with you. There is some value with some of those Samsung lefties, but I think Brooks will knuckle down and be able to shut him down. I can't afford because, unfortunately, we have a salary cap in these things. So I can't go after Tucker or Cha from the Kia side. So it's going to pretty much be one and done, Brooks, and see the road for me here if this game does play. So, all right, game 4 is a dome game. So we know, no question, 100% that this game plays.
Unless the lights go out.
We say that and there'll be a leak in the roof or something, right? The Lotte Giants, 31-33. They have dropped to 2 games below 500, And the Kiwoom Heroes, 38-30. Dan Straley, 4-2, with a very nice 2.04 ERA. And Hyun Hee Han, 4-4, with a 6.32. And I expected Lotte to be a larger favorite than they are, but they're only minus 129, and it's an 8.5 over under. So it's a really nice betting card. Some really good lines here that we might have to go after a little bit. But what do you think on this game?
Yeah, I like Lotte here. I'd pay minus 129 there. Straley's been dominant. He struck out 12 heroes when he held them to 2 earned runs over 8 innings. Righties only hit 168 against him. So nice profile to go up against H. Kim, B. Park, D. Park. Lefties are only hitting 236 against him. 89 strikeouts in only 80 and 2/3 innings.
Yeah.
And he's only given up 1 earned run in his last 3 starts. So now he'll probably go out and give up 5 earned runs, right?
In the first inning.
Yeah, right. So I like Straley here, and I like these bats. We know Lotte's right-handed heavy. Righties hit 343 against Hyun-Hee Han. 2 of his last 3 outings have been bad. So I'm looking at a Lotte stack. I like these prices. Asiap Sun 4,200, Jay Gion 45, Dai-Ho Lee 42, Machado 43. So I'm going to have a lot of the heart of that order to go along with Straley.
Yeah, for me it's pretty simple. I mean, I'm going to spend the bucks on the 2 pitchers that I think have the best ability to dominate this slate. Very seldom do I take the top 2 salary pitchers on DraftKings, but I just don't see a way around it tonight unless Brooks gets rained out. So for me, it's Straley. I think his 12 strikeouts against Kiwoom. I mean, the guy is just mowing him down. His off-speed stuff is so nasty, and I just love him in this spot. He's my favorite pitcher. I like him even better than Brooks on this slate. So, as you can see, my build isn't a real mystery tonight. I'm, the 2 expensive bats from the Dinos, the not as expensive mid-level stack of the KTW lineup, and then the 2 most expensive guys left or pitching-wise on the slate. So my last 2 or 3 guys that I have to fill in are going to be a sampling of the 3 probably best bargains I can get to make my lineup out in some of these games. And they may be guys, for example, from Lotte, a Chi Hong An, a Jun Tae Kim, possibly, if I go that way instead of Jang from KTW. So again, I'm looking for some value on some teams that I think are going to score some runs, and I am not going to try to find a discount second pitcher to build up the bats, because I think it's going to be hard to win this slate, in my opinion, if you don't have those nice Brooks Straley numbers. So that's where I'm at.
Excellent.
All right, the final game, Game 5, probably the highest risk rain game. It's also 40-some% chance of rain, so we got to keep an eye on this one. It is the SK Wyverns 23-44 against the Hanwha Eagles 17-51. So with those 2 teams, probably rain is the best option for both of them. There are not strong teams. We've got Seong Won Moon, 2-6 with a 3.30, good ERA with a bad record. Warwick Saupold, 5-8, 4.69. He's been up and down a little bit as well. MyBookie.ag has this particular game as a SK Wyverns road favorite of 140. So go figure, man. If I told you before this, who's the second biggest favorite on the entire slate, and they're on the road, and it's the SK Wyverns, you would probably say, what? But that's it. So they are minus 140, and it is an 8.5 over under. So are you messing with these 2 worst teams in the KBO?
Yeah, I sure will if they play. And I like this similar profile here to Lotte, where I like the visiting pitcher and the visiting hitters. Same thing with SK here. Seong-Won Moon, as you mentioned, his record is bad, but it's SK. He's got a 3.3 ERA, whip just over 1, 68 strikeouts in 70 innings.
Yeah.
He's a very strong hitter, a very strong pitcher. Hitters are weak against him. Righties only hit 211, lefties 260 with only 1 homer. And it is Hanwha. So I'd like to get him out there, save some money on the mound at only 8,100.
Yeah.
And then these bats, SK with their new revamped lineup trending really in the right direction. Jong Cha, 3 for 3, 2 homers last night. He's at 5,800, and righties are hitting 335 against Southpold.
Yeah.
Our man D Han, 2 straight games with a homer. He's only 3,900. And then Tai In Che, he's one of these first basemen at 2,100. He's only 2,100 to give a different look and give people different options. He's a much better hitter than that. He's had 2 straight games with multiple hits. And then, circling back to Southpold, this was, you remember way back in the beginning, his first start on May 5th, he had the 2-hit shutout against SK.
I do.
Yeah, things have certainly changed since then, haven't they? He's had last 4 outings, he's given up between 4 and 6 earned runs every time out. So he's just not sharp. The SK bats are really improving. So if this one plays, I'll have Moon and I'll have a couple of these SK bats.
Well, I'm with you. For me, Moon is a clear third choice in pitching wise. So if Brooks gets rained out and Moon's game plays, then I'll put Moon with Straley. If both Brooks and Moon rain out, that's panic time. Then I got to figure out plan B.
Right.
But as of now, I'm hoping to have either Brooks or Moon's game play so I can put them along straight with Straley. I think Moon is a great play on this card against a Hanwha team that's just not that good, and Moon is outpitched 2-6 record. If you plug him on the Dinos or Doosan or even Kiwoom, he's probably 6-2 instead of 2-6. So exactly. I think he's a really solid play. I don't like any of the Hanwha bats. And the nice part about SK is they're always a little underpriced, which plays right into my dumpster diving that I have to do for my last few players to be able to make salary here. So I'm going to look at quite a few of these guys. Righties absolutely hammer Southpold, so it's a reverse splits kind of thing. So all these righties could be in play for me, even all the way down. And this is in honor of Sugar Shane, the 8-hitter H. Lee or the 9-hitter S. Kim. If I need to fill out my lineup with 1 or 2 super value plays, then I'd love to have a couple of righties against Southpold. But for the most part, it'll be Moon if that game's played, and then looking for a little value with the bats for SK.
Coach,
and that's it.
I got to finish with one fun little stat line.
Okay.
All right. You mentioned, what if Sungwon Moon was on somebody like the Dinos? Well, I was just glancing up, and if you compare his stats to Mike Wright, who's 6-2, Moon is better in every single stat that I wrote down than Mike Wright. He has better ERA, better WHIP, more strikeouts, fewer innings pitched, so a better strikeout ratio, fewer homers, fewer walks, and opposing batters have a lower batting average and fewer home runs, lefties and righties.
Nice.
Yeah.
That makes me even feel better about stacking against Wright as well. So there you go.
Right on.
Very good. Well, we've been watching our KBO. I'm going to miss these guys. I really am. It is. It's hard to say goodbye, especially knowing that there's a very good chance we may never play KBO again, because I can't imagine next season, although maybe this is created fans. Maybe the DFS world for DraftKings wise will pick it up again, and who knows. But it's been a fun ride. And, again, when the times were tough and everything shut down, it was the only game in town. Definitely saw us through some quiet times and also allowed us to build some bankroll now for rolling into all the U.S. sports. So, do what, the whole process is key. We're going to be doing the same thing here coming up with NBA and NFL and such. And that process of, watching the podcast, taking some notes, getting some ideas of some plays through that, and then following us on Twitter throughout the day. We're all at DFS Coach Talk. I am at Joe Sarvadi, JoeSarvadi. He is at Language Olympic. Our man Shane is at DET Sports Shane. And Freddie is at FREDDIEMILLS7. So that's how you can get us directly. If you're watching this right now on YouTube, please right below us, subscribe and like. We'd really appreciate that. It helps us move up the charts, and we get found a little bit more easily by people searching for DFS help. On Instagram, DFS_Coach Talk, and we would recommend, this is the very last free week. I can't believe it. It's here. We've given away a couple of months worth of DFS because we wanted to ride this out with you guys, and we didn't feel membership should count during this real quiet time. So we do have 1 week of it left. So you do get a free week if you join today or tomorrow, all the way until the 30th. So you got, again, 1 more week still left, and you get a week, month, or year membership. It doesn't start until July 30th, which is opening NBA. So you go to dfscoachtalk.com and join in, because the third part of that process is getting into our Discord, talking with our pros, being in there for lock, so that you can see our lineups, what we're playing, what's going on. We have FanDuel lineups. The whole entire lineup is yours to play and go out there and crush. And in DraftKings, we are rolling out for the start of baseball and basketball here, and we'll do the same thing in football and golf, is this new DraftKings sort of hybrid player pool, but yet a highlighted core of players that you can build on. So we've done a lot of polls and talked to people on Twitter and a lot of our members and everybody, and we really had to try to figure out what was going to be best for you guys that would help you the most. And we pretty much unanimously came up with this solution. So you'll get to see that. It will start on Monday, where you're going to get to see that DraftKings player pool with a highlighted core that's going to help you build that winner. So we're excited. I mean, it seems like forever since we had all the U.S. sports going, but man, we're on the doorstep right now. I watched, and I know we were going to stick with this sport, but I can't help it because I bleed basketball. I watched the whole Lakers Mavericks game last night, the scrimmage on NBA TV. And I'll tell you, I was mightily impressed with the bubble. It looked great. Everybody looked comfortable. They had everything plexiglassed and great rules. I think this thing's going to fly, man. I know we touched on it a bit, yesterday too, but just kudos to Adam Silver is just the best. And great organization for the way this is working. And the other thing, I watched a little baseball. Did you watch any baseball, MLB, last night?
A little bit.
How odd was it? I felt like I was watching KBO because It was the same announcers that have been doing KBO, and they had the cardboard cutouts with the weird silence in the background. And I was like, what the heck? It was just so weird. And then did you see what they're doing? If your cardboard cutout gets hit with a ball, they send you the ball in the mail. So you got to love that.
Right.
I mean, it's how bizarre that is. But excited, man. I guess that's why I'm just going nuts here, because it's like this is finally happening. This last 3-4 months has felt like a year. So, man, we're there. We're on the doorstep. We're going to crush KBO tonight, crush KBO tomorrow, get everything ready for Sunday, and then after that, it's lights out, man. I don't know when our next day off or break will be, because with MLB, NBA, and PGA just firing at full throttle here, all of a sudden we're going to turn around and the NFL is going to be there. So, man, if you ever wanted to become a member and you wanted to be part of the DFS Coach Talk community, this is the time. DFSCoachTalk.com.
That's right, because we're going to try to make some money this weekend on KBO, finish strong, and then make sure everybody's ready to go and they understand the system, how everything works as we head into NBA coming back next week. So definitely jump in as a member this weekend. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. So we appreciate you listening. KBO to the end here. For those listening, I'm proud of you guys for hanging in there on these last few KBO podcasts. So and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you take some stuff down. Andrew and I will be back tomorrow with our very final ever KBO podcast, and we'll look to go out on a super winning note. It would only be appropriate since we've been doing so well in KBO. So thank you so much for listening in. Last thing to mention, our charity of choice here is mambaon3.org, MAMBAONTHREE.org. Fantastic charity set up by the Bryan family. So that is it, my man. Watch a little Major League Baseball. Watch get up tonight for KBO. Get up tomorrow and catch some golf. By the way, they're going bad weather in the morning. They backed up the tee times till almost 11 o'clock. They're going threesomes off of both tees. So if you are playing weekend PGA, you do have the morning to get those DFS lineups in. So I wanted to mention that as well. So it's going to be a sports-packed weekend, my man, and hopefully we take some stuff down. I've got a feeling, this is just an odd hunch, I think we finished, you and I, 1-2 in one of these tournaments, and maybe some of our listeners and members are right there with us.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will catch you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in KBO for the last time.